show called Bollywood to Hollywood. I'm a great fan of improvisation.
Oh yes.
How much improvisation in this movie? Is there a lot of improvisation?
Not a lot. I was saying that the script is very. We wanted to fulfill the script, and the script's very good, and it's written so well it feels like it's improvised. But the scenes were constructed in such a way we've made things up on the spot. Yeah, but it's all Alex's script.
Well, here I am at the Sundance Festival. Me and the Sundance kid. So me playing the Sundance kid at the Sundance Festival.
It never ends. And whoever's making history for social justice, y'all gotta be there recording it so that it gets taught to the future. So we organize, we do our thing, y'all record it, create good film, and we got social justice on the move.
There's a lot of discussions that arose from that. The one factor noted in the study is that women tend to be better represented in documentary film than they do in fiction, although it's still far from being equal. It's also notable in the documentary field how many women occupy real places of executive power. I think of Sheila Nevins at HBO, or Molly Thompson at A&E, Carrie Putnam at the Sundance Institute, Kathy Jackson of the Sundance Documentary Fund, Kara Burtez, Ford Foundation. But there are...
And has 5 of his children on the Chinook, including an 8-month-old, a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 7- and a 9-year-old. So the ship is going through the sea, and the Chinook hovers above the ship, and he opens the door, and he throws one of his kids down on deck, and they have no idea because they're not communicating. They just see this thing coming out, and they catch it, and it's a child. And then he throws, 10-year-old, the 9-year-old, the 5-year-old, then finally the 8-month-old is thrown over deck, and the crew catches it. They throw everybody out, and then and we have footage of all of this, which is amazing. But and then
You must see this.
And then the pilot then takes the Chinook like 50 yards off to the starboard side of the boat, and he has a flight suit on, and which he undoes, which is apparently a really act of insanity, because he's got to steer both propellers and take his suit off, and then he leans the helicopter over to the right, and he jumps out the left door, and the helicopter goes exploding, hits the water, explodes, he hits the water, disappears, and this is all shot and footage of it, and then 30 seconds later the guy pops up, and the ship goes nuts, and they're all screaming and yelling, and they save him, and it's really thank you.
A really hard time raising the money. It took 8 years to make, primarily because people were afraid of the radicalism, and it's a political story, and I wanted to tell it as an action thriller and a documentary. But I had this one meeting with an executive, and I did my pitch, action thriller, et cetera, and he, at the end of it, said to me, so let me get this straight. Everybody you're going to interview is a senior citizen? Now, that is not the lens in which I see Angela Davis.
Hey, my respects, to those people who have passed. We've had quite a few people who have passed over the past couple of years. Those who have, like I said, led the way and supported us. People like Phil Lucas from the Choctaw Nation, Clint Starr, who is Cree Métis from Canada, Merata Mita, who is Ngāti Pikia Ngaitirangi Iwis from New Zealand, and Dr. Daryl Rhodes Kip from the Blackfeet Nation. So I just wanted to pay my respects to them and to thank them for leading the way. I wanted to call up Stephen Lewis as we close because he wanted to say a few words, and then after that we'll close with a song from our singer.
Thank you. It's a good thing. And, as a tribal leader now, as those of you know, sometimes tribal leaders go on and on. But I'm not going to go on and on. I'm going to make this as brief as possible. And as you know, natives, indigenous people, we like to honor our own. And at this point, I want to honor Bird for his leadership, for his courage, for standing up and for advocating for the native filmmakers and keeping this dream, keeping this access to our voices here in the Sundance, keeping that alive. So I was going to present him with a shell necklace from my people, the Akama Akam, Peepash people. This is our symbol, our suuki, which is man in the mace. And what it is, it's symbolic and it's a metaphor for life. And I want to give this to him so he's blessed and he has so much more to give and to advocate for here at Sundance. So this time I was wanting to present him with this gift. Bird and water.
Were so busy during the fall of communism. Oh, they had their lives. I told you, they were divorcing, they were having affairs. It's like we were so much free to do whatever we wanted to. And I'm one of the luckiest that survived, I didn't go into drugs and alcohol, and many of my fellow classmates did. And many of them really ruined their lives with that because our parents didn't have time to really pay attention to what's happening with us. And suddenly, when they became older and they started to have different diseases or feeling uncomfortable about something, they suddenly started paying attention. I get like 15 calls from my mother and my father a day. And I'm okay with it because I really know that it's priceless. I adore this relationship. I've been missing them.
You've developed the mother character throughout the film as someone who legitimately, in her heart, longs for a certain freedom that she doesn't have, and it's epitomized by this image that she has in an empty apartment of only a picture of the Statue of Liberty of the West, and that's the only thing in the apartment. And to me it's a very melancholic image. Is there a way that you, as the younger generation, who are observing your parents' generation at that moment of time, I mean, what are your feelings about, what are your feelings about their feelings at that time?
It's really sad, and it makes you feel uncomfortable.
But if you call the movie The Selfless Sacrifice, nobody would go see it.
It can't just be retreating to a room and then hope someone makes a big feature film out of your movie. And you know, it can get tiring saying no all the time, especially when in Hollywood, you know, if you're at your best, you're right 1 out of 5 times. And so one of the things we did was my brother Chip started our own publishing division, and that allows us to tell a lot more stories. And we're able to even, you know, get one of those Horatio Alger stories where we got the manila envelope from a woman living in a trailer in Boulder, Colorado. And she used to call from a payphone at her lunch hour to go through the edits with my brother Chip. And she won the Newbery Medal. And now she is a full-time writer.
Because the films don't have to have birds chirping and everything to convey that. You can have a film about loss that reveals gratitude, for example. And so you can have a dark element to a film and still reveal virtuous material. The request I have is to build on Susan's comment, which is we at Templeton Foundation are really interested in studying the impacts of films. Very often in the film industry, the furthest it goes is how many people saw the movie, how many hits you got on the website. And these are about, and that's even in the realm of films where you're actually trying to change behavior and inspire action, but that's about as far as it goes. So if you know of any researchers that are looking at the impacts of films, we want to talk to them, so we'd welcome any suggestions, and if you could write that down.
Okay, here I am at the Sundance Festival 2014. Me and the Sundance Kid. Here I come.
So, would you all mind sharing some of your biggest fails? Let's get this started. Let's, in the interest of being transparent, like Michael said.
Sure. Yeah, we feel pretty big. So it's about understanding when the time is not right, and not being afraid to just kind of let it go and start working on other things and build your skills somewhere else.
One of them was with the distribution of our web series, that we kept it on our site instead of putting it on YouTube and Vimeo, and really we had no understanding then of social media, and that was a huge point of failure. And
my first huge failure was my first feature. But kind of out of that, I guess I got a lot stronger in my resolve to do things. And
which includes a fellowship, a commissioning grant, the wonderful Science and Film series of conversations that happen here, and of course the prize we're here to talk about today. So I want to thank the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation, and I think they've brought some wonderful stories and supported some wonderful storytellers along the way, so really want to recognize them for that. Now it's my pleasure to introduce you to our good friend, the visionary behind this program, the Vice President of Programs at the Sloan Foundation, Doran Weber.
Thank you, Carrie. And, first, thank you all our friends at Sundance, from Robert Redford to John Cooper. I think I saw John here somewhere. Mike is the first person to win this award twice.
One of the many gifts that have come to me from directing Rudderless is that I've fallen in love with this business all over again.
Could loneliness in America could be the theme of this whole movie? And perhaps even worse things can happen, like what happened to this kid in this movie?
Are you asking, is the theme of the film, is loneliness in America and things like this can happen?
Yeah, even the sweet can go and kill people.
I don't know the answer to that. I'll tell you this, that for those kids, like the Columbine kids, nothing that they did foreshadowed this. I mean, with hindsight, you can say, yeah, they started dressing like goth, but so do a lot of other kids, and they don't do that. It falls under the category, I think, this kind of rage of shit happens. I don't know the answer to it. I have the feeling that if I gave a handgun to every single person in this room, that the chances of something bad happening go up pretty exponentially.
Thank you all. Well, we encourage that. Thank you all so much for coming out. Give it up for these guys right here.
Good evening, and welcome. I'm Nick Offerman, and this sweet piece of action right here is my esteemed wife, Megan Mullally.
You know, Nick and I weren't surprised when we were asked to do this together. People are kind of fascinated with our marriage, and more specifically with our sex life.
But it's really no surprise given our raging libidos and Homeric feats of public coupling. We are often caught in flagrante delicto. In fact, this photo is a candid snapped by a paparazzi when we were walking on our way to the theater. But enough with the body badinage. It's time to buckle down and talk about the reason we're all here. It's crinkly, it's kindly. It bears upon it the imprint of the wisdom of its years. It's got great bone structure. It is most comfortable out of doors. It's been touched by few, but those who have had the privilege can never forget it. I'm speaking, of course, of Robert Redford's face.
There we go. The parade goes on the main street. Well, it is dying down. This is Sunday. So let's see how things go.
Streisand.